You just signed your entire life away to the Tiger, Mr. Klein.
Hans smirked at Derek, who had just signed a contract with the Tiger Group without his knowledge. What? Derek stammered. So it's true. I really did just sell my company to the Tiger? His eyes went wide as Hans threw his head back and laughed wickedly. Then he grabbed the briefcase of Daring Industries documents and made a beeline for the door.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Hans waved his hand, and two of his armed mercs stepped in front of the door, flashing their weapons. Derek froze, a panicked look in his eye.
Did you really think for one moment that you'd be able to outsmart the Tiger? Are you really that deluded? You tried to go behind his back, but you didn't think that he'd be smart enough to do the same to you? You're an arrogant child. You know that?
Derek's breathing grew frantic. You're lying. I know it. How could the Tiger possibly known I would be here?
Hans laughed. The Tiger knows everything that goes on in this city, I'm afraid.
Derek remained silent as Hans continued.
Next time you try to play a man's game, I want you to remember that you're nothing more than a scared little boy. Take the money and run. Start a new life somewhere else. That's your best bet, I'm afraid.
Hans snapped his fingers. As he did, a hired thug brought over a large sack of money for Derek.
I think you'll find everything's in order.
Derek opened the bag tepidly, studying the bills. He zipped the bag back up, slinging the duffel over his shoulder. This is a lot less than we had agreed to. Hans sneered at him.
You should just be grateful you got anything out of this arrangement. Now, get out of my sight before I change my mind.
Derek took one more glance at the armed mercenaries and scurried out of the hotel room. Aiden watched carefully from his car. He saw Derek exit the hotel across the street from the restaurant, racing off into the night. Aiden laughed to himself.
He should have taken my warning. What else could I do?
Eventually, he reached a rendezvous point he had arranged with Randall and Ron beforehand. The three of them were set to meet underneath an overpass, just outside of town. Aiden pulled up underneath the overpass. The headlights caught Randall and Ron waiting patiently for him. Aiden stepped out of the car. It's been a good night, boys. He tapped the briefcase handed off to him by one of Hans' men. He brought it over to them, popping the lid. Ron stared at the papers.
This is...
Yes, Aiden cut him off.
This is all the documentation we need for Daring Industries. The company is ours, and Derek Klein is finished.
Randall smirked. Masterful, boss. Just masterful. Aiden shut the case and handed it off to Ron.
Take good care of this. We'll need this to be properly filed and all assets folded into the Tiger Group ASAP.
Ron nodded. However, as he did, Aiden detected a hint of worry on his face.
Ron, what is it?
Boss, Ron inhaled deeply.
I'm worried about this Hans guy. Now that he's held up his end of the bargain, what if he goes rogue again? He's still one of the most powerful figures in the black market. He could spell trouble for us down the line if we're not careful.
Aiden smiled. Very true. But now we have an ace up our sleeve. Randall looked puzzled. An ace, boss? Aiden nodded.
Yes. One of Hans's men got in contact with me, the one I bribed. His name is Lazarus, and he's agreed to act as a double agent for the Tiger Group. Lazarus?
Ron arched a brow.
Can we trust him? Yes, I believe we can. There's just one condition we have to fulfill in order to fully earn his trust.
Randall huffed. A condition? Boss, you should be the one laying out terms, not your underlings.
It's a noble cause, Randall.
Aiden raised his hand, urging patience from Randall.
Lazarus told me that he's interested in coming to work for the Tiger Group, as he has no great love for Hans. Hans kidnapped his family
and is holding them for ransom to force Lazarus to work for him in his operation. If we can rescue Lazarus's family, then we'll easily win him to our side. Ron gulped.
Kidnapped his family? I knew that Hans was tough, but I didn't realize he would go so far as to kidnap a man's family.
All the more reason to be suspicious of Hans, Randall interjected. Exactly. That's why we have to rescue Lazarus's family immediately. This will win him to our side and take Hans down a peg. Let's remind him who's really in charge of this city. Suddenly, Aiden's phone rang. He looked down at the screen. It was Lazarus. He answered. Lazarus? Hello, we were just talking about you.
Hello, Taiga.
Lazarus's voice sounded shaky on the other end of the phone.
The deal is done with Hans and Derek Klein. However, Hans hasn't left the hotel yet, it seems. Or, at the very least, hasn't returned to base.
Very good, Aiden nodded. However, going forward, we'll need to use a cipher to communicate.
Good idea, Taiga.
Aiden thought carefully. If I ever call you and you're not in a safe position to talk, send me back the following message. The tiger is caged. Lazarus exhaled excitedly.
Perfect. And if I need the tiger group's help?
Simply tell me that the tiger's claws are bared. Lazarus murmured in agreement.
And what about my family, Taiga?
Aiden smiled. Don't worry about your family, Lazarus. You have my word. We'll find your family. And I'll personally make sure they go free. Hans isn't going to get away with this. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you, Taiga.
Lazarus exclaimed, an air of relief in his voice.
By the way, one last question, Taiga.
Yes?
What should I save your name under on my phone? You know, in case I get caught.
Save me under pizza delivery. That way, nobody will suspect anything.
Very good, boss.
All right, Lazarus, we have to go now. But I promise you, your family will be free soon. Aiden hung up the phone. Ron blinked. What should we do now, boss? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to track down and rescue Lazarus's family as soon as possible. Now, if we can. Randall's eyes went wide. Now? Boss, don't you think we should wait until we see what Hans does next? He might already be plotting his next move against us. No, we should act now. We don't know what Hans' next move is, but he's likely still planning it, meaning we'll be able to catch him off guard, and we can use that to our advantage to rescue Lazarus's family. Is that clear? Aiden scowled at both of them, shooting them a menacing glare. Yes, boss. Once I get the intel I need on their location, I'll need you both to be standing by with further instructions. Then, we'll rendezvous at the engagement point and free his family. It's going to be a long few days. Let's split up for the moment. Get a little rest, maybe some food, and stand by for my call. Ron and Randall nodded, before climbing back into their car and heading off. Aiden did the same. He started to drive back to the Stone family mansion, his mind racing. I have to find Lazarus's family. But how? A few minutes later, Aiden's phone rang again with a call from Cyrus. Hey, Cyrus, he answered.
Aiden, we need to talk.
There was a seriousness to Cyrus's voice that sent a chill down Aiden's spine. What is it? Cyrus sighed.
Randall just contacted me. He told me about your plan to engage with Hans and free an operative's family from his captivity. Before you do this, I need you to meet me, now. There's something important we need to discuss.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.